Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jai Om Vishnupad, Paramahansa Parivracharya, Asutrasata Shri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charnaravinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधारा श्रीवासती गौर भक्तवृंद की, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की, वृंदावन धाम की, मथुरा धाम की, नवदीप धाम की, श्री जगन्नाथ स्वामी की, यमुना माई की, श्रीमती तुलसी देवी की, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की, निताई गौर प्रेमानंदी. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutla Srimate Bir Krishna Goswami Niti Namne Namo Hamsa Nikashaya Prabhupada Priyate Shuddhash Dinishtabhem Tasya Vakyanuvadine. Good morning and Hare Krishna to everyone. Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, brought to you live in Sydney ISKCON Temple and live on Mayapur TV. So welcome to our online viewers who are watching us on Sydney channel and ISKCON Sydney YouTube and Facebook. There's lots of means of social media where we can reach you. So it's nice to be back after so long. I haven't given a class for a long time. And I found that I prefer chanting Hare Krishna to giving classes in all these times. So this morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 16, which is titled Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. So there are some professional reciters who are in praise of King Prithu. So, we are reading from text 17. Yes. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasta Prayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Okay. Matra Bhakti Parastrishu Matra Bhakti Parastrishu Patnayam Ardha Ivatmanaha Patnyam Ardha Ivatmanaha Prajashu Pitravat Snigdhaha Kinkaro Brahma Vadinam Kinkaro Brahma Vadinam Matra Bhakti Parastrishu Patnyam Ardha Ivatmanaha Prajashu Pitravat Snigdhaha Kinkaro Brahma Vadinam Matra bhakti parastrithishu Patnyam ardha ivatmanaha Prajashu pitravat snigdaha Kinkaro brahma vadinam Matra bhakti parastrishu Patnyam ardha vivatmanaha Prajashu pitravat snigdaha Kinkaro brahmavadina Matra bhakti parastrishu Patnyam ardha ivatmanaha Prajashu pitravat snigdaha Kinkaro brahmavadina Matra bhakti parastrishu Patnyam ardha ivatmanaha Prajashu pitravat snigdaha Kinkaro brahmavadina Matra bhakti parastrishu Patnyam ardha ivatmanaha Prajashu pitravat snigdha Kinkaro brahmavadina. Okay. Matra bhakti, as respectful as one is to his mother. Parastrishu, to other women. Patnyam, to his own wife. Ardha, half. Iva, like. Atmanaha, of his body. Prajashu, unto the citizens. Pitravat, like a father. Snigdaha, affectionate. Kinkaraha, servant. Brahmavadinam, of the devotees who preach the glories of the Lord. Okay, so we've got the translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, what we just read, the translation, the meaning. If we can all repeat together. The king will respect all women as if they were his own mother. And he will treat his own wife as the other half of his body. He will be just like an affectionate father to his citizens, and he will treat himself as the most obedient servant of the devotees who always preach the glories of the Lord. Okay, so this is a very nice translation and a nice slok, especially for ladies. So I should be the last person to give a class on this, because I'm always for ladies' rights and I can get a little bit fiery. So I'm not the right person, so please forgive me if I say something wrong or something that is controversial, and I'll get crucified for that. So, purport. Let's see what Prabhupada has to say. So, a learned man treats all women except his wife as his mother, and looks on others' property as garbage in the street, and treats others as he would treat his own self. These are the symptoms of a learned person described by Chanakya Pandit. This should be the standard for education. Education does not mean having academic degrees only. One should execute what he has learnt in his personal life. These learned characteristics were verily manifest in the life of King Prithu, Although he was the king, he treated himself as a servant of the Lord's devotees. According to Vedic etiquette, it's something that we follow, the Hare Krishnas, we follow Vedic etiquette. So according to Vedic etiquette, if a devotee came to a king's place, the king would immediately offer his own seat to him. The word Brahmavadinam, is very significant. Brahmavadi refers to the devotees of the Lord. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan are different terms for the Supreme Brahman. And the Supreme Brahman is Lord Krishna. This is accepted in the Bhagavad Gita 10.12 by Arjun, Param Brahma, Param Dhama. Thus, the word Brahmavadinam refers to the devotees of the Lord. The state should always serve the devotees of the Lord, and the ideal state should conduct itself according to the instructions of the devotee. So let's look at that sentence again. The state should always serve the devotees of the Lord, and the ideal state should conduct itself according to the instructions of the devotee. The state should conduct itself according to the instructions of the devotee. Because King Prithu followed this principle, he is highly praised. So, quickly, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, it's a very interesting topic, very close to our hearts. Women are always screaming women's liberation, equal rights. Here we've got our Vedic scriptures telling us how a perfect king should be towards women, not just towards women, but towards the citizens at large. So this is in the times of Vedic times. It's a king, King Prithu. King Prithu is an expansion of Lord Vishnu. So he's God. So God is giving us an example of how to treat the citizens and treat the women, ladies, and children. Now, Lord Vishnu is Lord Krishna, and Lord Krishna is the king anyway of the entire creation. So he comes in again and again and again and again, yet again, and tells us how we should behave, how we should be a devotee, how we should be the ideal lady, how we should be the ideal king, how we should be the ideal leader. So in this case, he's a king, and he's giving us some lessons. How to treat women, how to treat children, how to treat denizens, citizens of the state. So we are in Kali Yuga, as you know. We've made the mistake of sticking around all this time. The reason we did that is because we wanted to enjoy. Maybe we wanted to be king today. The temple president, the prime minister, the president, whatever. Our desires were such. So in Kali Yuga, it becomes hard, very hard, extremely hard to follow Vedic practices. However, we've done the right thing somehow or other. We've stumbled upon Lord Krishna and the Hare Krishnas. So by luck or by Lord Krishna's arrangement, we came to a place which is probably the last surviving instructions of the Lord that puts us on the right path, the highest. So we have the opportunity to learn how to be an ideal leader. We have the opportunity to learn how to treat women. We have the opportunity how to learn how to treat animals. We don't need them, first of all. We don't need them. We don't torture them. We don't shed blood, anyone's blood. So somehow or the other we've come to the right path, and this morning we are reading something really important that plays a role even within ISKCON. So who was here yesterday in the Sunday feast? I was. Okay, so do you remember what the temple looked like and the population in the temple room? It was full, right? Pretty much. Now, if you were to judge, according to what you observed, the percentage of ladies in the room, what would you say? 60% of the temple were ladies? Pretty much, right? More than the Prabhus. You'd find that the room is divided in half, and we kind of take more space than more than half. So what I'm trying to say is that ISKCON is comprised of ladies too. Probably 60%. So we need the guidance, and where do we get our guidance on how to treat ladies? Ladies can be quite, like I said, fiery nature right in the beginning. They have different natures. So what to do? How to do it? So we have got the basic principle is to understand that ladies are actually devotees of Lord Krishna in ISKCON. So once we become devotees, then we become a little bit different from the ladies outside who are non-devotees. Two types of ladies in this world: devotee lady, non-devotee lady. So the treatment becomes a little bit special, let's say, or a little bit different according to Vedic rites, ladies. And I'm going to relate to you a very interesting experience. I've just come back from India. Oh, well, not just, it's been 3 months now, but I was in India 3 months ago. And there was all this hoopla about Prayagraj, Kumbh Mela, going here, going there. So I went there before all the crowd came in. So went there, and I'm just trying to tell you how ISKCON is evolving with regards to ladies. I went there with a tour guide who is a devotee Vrindavan Vrajavasi, but he's from the Nimbarka Sampradaya. And his regards to ladies, I've known him for a long time. He's actually a tour guide, and he actually closed his shop to show me around. So he forgot the opportunity of making money in Vrindavan, because it's very nice, respectable fellow. So the whole point is very nice, respectful, protective, not from our sampradaya. Took me to Prayagraj, and there the ISKCON people were very nice. In Prayagraj, we've got an ISKCON there. And they said, well, going back to Vrindavan, you can't do it. It's too long a drive. Why don't you stop at Kanpur ISKCON? It's huge. Has anyone been to Kanpur ISKCON? Yeah, ladies, I wouldn't recommend it. The experience, I'm not coming to the point. So he really praised Kanpur. So we went there. And by the time we got there, it was late, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. So the reason we were sent there is because it's got a huge boarding accommodation. They've got nice hotel sort of premises, and he said you'll get the place accommodation there. We went there without booking because we were told there's many rooms and it all be empty at this time. And I went there, and the way I was treated, who are you? You are a woman? This is very true. I'm sorry to say. Speaking in front of the deities, we do not give room to women. That's what I was told. We do not give rooms to women. I said, I'm not a woman, I'm a devotee. And he said, doesn't matter, where are you from? And I said, I'm from ISKCON, Sydney, Radha Gopinath Temple. What is your service? And I opened my phone and I showed him I give classes, I do kirtans. I've been serving Gopinath for so long as I remember, the year 2000. And he goes, that is, if you were in India, these are his exact words, that would not be permissible for women. You can't give classes here, you can't go on the altar. I said, I'm a pujari. We don't accept that. This is from, and I said, who are you? He said, I'm a Brahmin educated, something Krishna Das. disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj. And he said that to me. This is a true story. And I said, so I've been trained on the altar for 6 months personally, face to face, by our deity worship minister. Not just anyone, ISKCON deity worship minister, His Holiness, or His Grace, Narasimha Kavacha Prabhu in Movalamba. Because I was meant to be trained as a head pujari for North Carolina temple, my Guru Maharaj's temple. So I know everything about Archanam and everything. He taught me personally for 6 months at the request. So I went on the altar with the deity worship minister of ISKCON. He said, no, if in India you're a woman, you won't be allowed. So first of all, he insulted or really degraded women. And then he said, and we don't allow women to give classes either. So that was my ISKCON Kanpur experience. But because it's an ISKCON place and we are taught to tolerate, which women have a lot as well. So I said, okay, no problem. It's not allowed, but I was, by that time, the temperature was rising in my head, which anybody's will. Then he said, where's your passport? Then he wanted to scrutinize my passport. I said, if you don't want to give me the room, why do you want to see my passport? He said, you don't understand, I'm going to do something for you. So I took out the passport, gave it to him, he scrutinized it, and then goes, okay, we will charge you 5,000 rupees per night. That's a lot. So he looked at me as if not, first of all, a woman who's not worthy, who's worthy of insults, then look at the passport, and then charge money for it. So I was a money-making machine for him. And by that time, I had said, I'm sorry, I'm not going to stay here a minute. And I left. I left ISKCON Kanpur, which was really bad because Gora Arati was going on, the deities were there, and I really wanted to go and see them. So this is what's happening. Disciple, Bhakti Charu. On the other hand, I was with the Nimbarka Prabhu, who was not even ISKCON, and he was ready to protect me at all costs. So this is a true story. The other story, which I've experienced, is in my own home country. There was nobody that morning to give a Srimad Bhagavatam class. I was in my gopi skirt, and I said, okay, I'll give a class, no problem. So I sat on the asan, gave a class, and for doing that, I was given a letter and I was told immediately to leave the temple. I was banned for giving a class. Even when there is nobody to give a class, women cannot give a class. I was given a letter. If you don't remove your things from here, exact words, within 24 hours we'll throw your things out. It's my home country. These are people I've grown up with. I've been a baby in front of them. Crawled and walked in front of them. So, so these are some of the ways. But here in the Vedic, coming back, we've got King Prithu, and he treats women like his mother. You would never tell your mother that you are a woman and, we're not going to give you a room. It was late at night that day. The way we are brought up, not being devotees, we wouldn't check a dog outside at that time of the night. This is India. And I was a lady devotee, and I didn't have a place to go for the night. So by Krishna's grace, we went to another hotel where the hotel owner himself goes to Vrindavan temple, Krishna Balaram temple. He was the owner, but he regularly visits there, although he is in Kanpur. So he treated us like VIP, so by Krishna's arrangement. So in saying all that, coming back, I'm going to give you what Prabhupada has given in his examples. This is a story from, class from my own Guru Maharaj. He said Prabhupada told us that these are anarthas, obviously, which even applies to people in the GBC. By the way, in ISKCON Kanpur, when I said we are allowed this in Australia, he said you go to GBC and you go and tell GBC. this is the real experience. So Prabhupada said to GBC members, he said, if there is a mistake committed, which everybody does, by the way, it is 4 qualities of the human nature, right? One of them is to commit mistakes. So he said, if this mistake is committed, even up to the level of GBC, then in the next life, these are Prabhupada's words, the next life they will be born as Shudras. Shudras in the Vaishnava Vedic terms, in the Vedic way, in the Varnashram, is the lowest form of the, like, lowest class. And in Kali Yuga, we are all Shudras anyway. We are all Shudras, I'm sorry to say. There is not even a proper Vaishya. According to that class, a proper Vaishya even is supposed to be a businessman, but one who protects cows. That's a proper Vaishya. Like Lord Krishna was a Vaishya. He protected cows. So we don't even have a proper Vaishya. What to speak of Kshatriyas and Brahmins. So in the Vedic system, the king would consult Brahmins. So the king wasn't the ruler alone. He would get the Brahmins who are learned and educated, get instructions from the Brahmins, and then rule the kingdom, the citizens. So then this person must have failed to understand that I'm Brahmin initiated, I go on the altar. How do you treat Brahmins? When ladies become Brahmins, they take initiation, then they are no longer just ordinary women in ISKCON. So, unfortunately, from that experience, although I'm not angry or anything, I understand, but by following these rules, they forget to be a human, forget being human. That was the treatment I got. This is straight from a lady who's in ISKCON. That is why I said, I pray to Krishna, I don't say anything while I'm on the asana and I'm supposed to give a lesson on how to treat ladies. I might say something which I probably might be, I might get in trouble for that. But this is a real experience. Okay, so let's move on from here to what a king, how we can apply this in our lives so that we do not commit these anarthas. And why does this happen? Why did this Prabhu in Kanpur say what he did? Why did someone from my home country kick me out for giving a Srimad Bhagavatam class? Srimad Bhagavatam class is been written by our sage Srila Vyasadeva, who is incarnation or empowered. He's not an incarnation directly, but he's empowered by Lord Krishna. And reading the Srimad Bhagavatam is of utmost respect, no matter who reads it. The words are priceless. So what made them do this? Let's look at that. So the reason this happens is as soon as one is given power or a title or becomes a leader, the chances of committing anarthas become great. Because they get puffed up or they get proud. It just is natural. So you better pray if you don't want to get there. Anarthas are committed by anger, lust, greed, illusion, some other things, right? Envy. So the higher you go, the more chances there are to commit these aparadhas. Because the feeling is there that I have the power. It just happens. And unfortunately in Kali Yuga, if you become like a king or a president or a prime minister, the title gives you these qualities where you are committing the aparadhas and you become demonic. So you absorb or you start manifesting demonic qualities. That's the reason. So then we have, say, our hierarchy. Say you might be the temple treasurer, then tomorrow you might become the temple commander, then from temple commander you might be temple president, then you could become GBC, then you could become guru. That's the highest. Okay, after guru it's God, and that position has been taken, God, By who? Who took the position of God? Yes. Thank you. That's a good answer. Yes, it's a correct answer. It's Krishna. So, in our hierarchy, so the higher you go from temple treasurer to temple president to GBC to Guru, the chances there is extremely high. And people praise you. Good job. Well done. Yesterday I sang the Kirtan, Mataji's came. Good job. Great, great Kirtan. So, you know, my Guru was saying, for me, he says, people wash my feet. And people write a book about me on my Vyasa Puja, praising me. And instead of reading Prabhupada's books, I might read the Vyasa Puja book, praise of me. So you can see how a person can commit these offenses. It's very easy. So then the next question comes, how can we protect ourselves? Because my question to you, would you like to develop demonic qualities because you've got a title or a high position? It's a yes and no answer. Would you like? No. Because Krishna's favorite pastime is to kill demons. That's his favorite pastime. So you don't want to become demonic. And as a result of your title, as a result of the prestige and the praise you've been given, so you don't want to go there. So how do you protect yourself? I'm coming to the solution, which is what we want, right? We want a solution. So our temple president or our temple treasurer, temple commander, our GBC, what do they do to protect themselves? Well, first of all, they chant Hare Krishna. That's basic. But more importantly, according to my Guru's class, is that you keep association of devotees. Never leave association of devotees, because they will keep you humble. And when I say humble, the other day, Janananda Maharaj, His Holiness Janananda Maharaj was giving a class, and he was talking about envy and people wanting appreciation. The solution, what was the conclusion he gave us? Don't even ask for appreciation, right? Just serve Krishna. Please Krishna. He will appreciate you. You don't need anybody's appreciation. So that comes from association of devotees. So if a devotee doesn't appreciate you, good, wonderful, actually, keeps you humble. At least you will not be demoniac. Unless you take out a sword and say, you did not appreciate me, I'm going to fix you up. So actually it's a good thing. So basically, and here in this purport we read, King Prithu asked for the instructions of Brahmins to rule the kingdom. So when we keep association of devotees, the right ones, of course ISKCON is also, Maya comes in ISKCON, did you know? She loves to go everywhere. She is also here in the temple. So there are some devotees who can be under Maya. So choose your association carefully, obviously, but remain in association of devotees. That's what Gurudev said. So that's one solution. And in that he also said, Prabhupada had given an example where, actually he was talking with Tamal Krishna Maharaj, His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj. And Tamal Krishna Maharaj was like, I'm chanting with the devotees, but there's so many things happening, I can't even hear myself chant. He was irritated because of the responsibilities and all these things are happening. He said, I'm just very disturbed. I can't hear myself chant. And what was Srila Prabhupada's response? You'll be surprised. Srila Prabhupada said, me too. So even Srila Prabhupada couldn't hear himself, he agreed. So, and then he said, well, there were people chanting together. He said, that's association, you actually stay in that association. There was one devotee who was 100 meters away and wanted to chant in isolation. Unfortunately, Prabhupada said that keeping yourself isolated from devotees, this is not just for chanting, other times as well. you will have spiritual problems later. Isn't it interesting? So keeping association of devotees is important. It will save you from becoming a demon or developing demonic qualities. But there's another solution that goes hand in hand with that, a very important one that will keep you protected from anarthas, is that you serve these devotees. You serve a Vaishnava. You serve them. And the example that Gurudev gave was, well, he was in Mayapur, he's GBC, he was there to attend meetings, and it's a high level. But he said, a disciple of my god brother was in hospice and was dying, about to leave her body. And I was there for the meetings, but I took this very determined, what's the word for it, I'm looking, but he decided that he's going to read the Chaitanya Charamrita for this disciple of his god brother who was about to leave the body. This is called Vaishnav care. So I'm talking about serving other devotees, or devotees of the devotee, or devotees of Lord Krishna, not just serving Krishna directly, or being a GBC. He said, I resigned. He didn't resign, but he decided to go and read the Chaitanya Charamrita every day. And he said, do you know what? The best thing I've done by coming to Mayapur was not really being part of GBC, but to read the Chaitanya Charamrita. So he actually thanked the person's husband or family that for allowing him this service to read the Chaitanya Charamrita, because that not only helped the person who's leaving the body, but also helped Gurudev keep it in balance. And this is what I've actually, not on that level, but in the beginning, I was starting the class, I'm thinking the best thing I've done, this is a question for you as well, what's the best thing you've done in your service? The best thing I've done, I just like chanted Hare Krishna, to be honest. Kirtan. Not sitting here and giving a class and getting attention or something like that, no. That was the realization I got. So serving the Vaishnavas actually helps you, it saves you. Not only that, it brings more people. We've lost devotees, this is also again in Fiji, they were hospitalized. And none of the devotees from the temple visited them in the hospital. And so the people who did visit them in the hospital were Christians with the Bible. So they converted to Christians, some of them. Obviously, you've got to be strong enough and be faithful for Srila Prabhupada, to Srila Prabhupada. Don't leave him. Don't turn your back on Srila Prabhupada. But, this kind of care is so important. It's a human need. It keeps us human too, and it brings people to the temple. So if that Prabhu had given me accommodation for the night, I would have given him 10,000 rupees. Twice as much as he asked, because I would have given donation. But because he did that, I left. Not a single cent. Lakshmi left. Ladies are Lakshmis, Swarupas. So we have to do that. In order to save ourselves from anarthas, we serve the devotees. If someone is in trouble, help them. Just because you're brahmachari doesn't mean you shouldn't help a devotee. Because if you turn away a person at such late night, you lose the quality of becoming human. You may be so strict on following your brahmachari rules, you forget to be human. That's dangerous. So, it has its reactions, that's what I'm saying. And you can't say that there's a brahmachari in the ashram and is in a lot of pain because of his teeth. This was the example that Gurudev said. You don't go to the brahmachari and say, you are the soul, not the body. So tolerate that pain. Please take him to the dentist. That's the right thing to do. So you've got to be practical. That's the point. Serve the devotees. And Lord Krishna is, it is written in the Upadesh Amrita, I think. Krishna is more pleased if you are the devotee of his devotee, or you serve the devotees. He is more pleased with that. So, this is all in our books. How to apply as a devotee, I have just said, according to Gurudev, keep association of devotees, serve devotees. We have something called the Vaishnav care. And I don't know if we've got it in Sydney, but in the States they've got Vaishnav care. So there are groups in different suburbs. So if anyone is sick or has some Lakshmi problems, whatever problems, the Vaishnav care will get together and help the devotees. I'm not sure if we've got it here. We've got Vaishnavi representatives, but the thing was with me was the Vaishnavi representative was used to chastise me rather than help me. Because I'd grabbed the microphone from a Prabhu. It was Vaishnavi's Kirtan Seva. He's not a Vaishnavi, but he was holding the microphone and doing things that was belonging to the Vaishnavi's time. That was Vaishnavi's Seva. And I had requested to him, Prabhuji, can I please have the microphone? Mataji is waiting. Kora Aarti started. She's standing there for 5 minutes. Aarti's already started. You were not giving the microphone to her. It's time for her to sing. It was not my seva. It was her seva. But I was just organizing it. But I've noticed in previous months, he was not doing that. But he's not really a Vaishnavi. That was not his time to be there. Ladies. That's why we are given. This temple is great. It's respecting Vaishnavis. I mean, from my side, I'm giving my example. Ladies are given a chance to do artis and singing, and they've got a special Sunday dedicated to them. So this is great. We're doing good. So, except for that Prabhu who wasn't giving the microphone, so I grabbed the microphone in public, He wasn't giving it. So the Vaishnavis were sent to do an investigation on me. So what did you do? That was very bad. So I requested this Prabhu to give the microphone. I requested another Prabhu to tell him to give the microphone. He wasn't doing it. So I just had to take it. What else could I do? So, these things happen. These things happen. I don't know if I'm wrong or right. I could have just let that Vaishnavi stand and go to Aarti to continue when he used to do his thing. But there is an element called respect. There's an element, mutual respect. I wouldn't, if it's some Prabhu Seva, I wouldn't hog the microphone and not give it to him. Simple. I wouldn't do that. So I would expect the other person to do the same. But in saying that, this temple is pretty good when it comes to respecting ladies. Even though it is being managed by brahmacharis on a certain level. But the respect for the mother, ladies are quite good here. But sadly, it's not like that everywhere else. So, what to speak of our leaders outside? Let's touch on that for briefly. We've had, recently we've had elections in the States. And we've got a new president there. It's been a month or more. So how did he become the president? The reason was the people voted for him. So in Kali Yuga, we have something called democracy. But it's, according to Prabhupada, you know what he used to call democracy? Anyone knows? He used to call it demonocracy. Demonic. The reason was the people voted because they vote for the person who gives them the most material satisfaction. That's how they vote. And the voting these days is social media. And the social media is controlled by business people who want what's best for their business. So they would sway the voters. So basically democracy becomes representative democracy. In other words, they represent your interests, so the business interests. So if you are wondering why a certain person has been elected, it's because the people voted because there's money involved and the businesses make a lot of money. So I believe Tesla is the first in line, the president of Tesla, whoever he is. But this is Kali Yuga. I'm not criticizing any country, but the Vedic system is not applied there. Unfortunately, we have to live in it. So that's how the voting system is. And that's how Australia would be as well. When we have our election, people will vote whatever is going to represent their interests materially. If the person who's standing for Prime Minister is ugly, but really Vedic person, following all Vedic systems, they won't necessarily vote for him. Not because he's ugly or something. He doesn't have the money. Or that would give that to them, like it's a material benefit. So they were promised all sorts of material benefits, which they will not get because they will be cheated. It's Kali Yuga. So that's outside, leadership outside, kings outside. And then we've got leadership within ISKCON, which is Vedic. And we are valiantly trying to follow Prabhupada's instructions. So it's up to you to decide where you want to be. You can't help being in the country you are in, but you can stick with the devotees and you can follow the instructions, you can chant Hare Krishna, you can serve each other. And humility is the most bitter pill to swallow if you want to be humble. But humility does help you protect yourself from becoming a demon or demonic qualities, manifesting demonic qualities. So thank you for listening. If you have any comments or questions. You can even say, Mataji, you said the wrong thing by talking about ladies, your experience. That was my experience. So thank you for listening. Hare Krishna. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam Puran ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada.